INFJs process the script of life very differently. A lot of it is unconscious narrative and almost beyond the reach of the INFJ themselves. On the outside they can look like everybody else. However, existential, eternal type questions are being digested all the time. These questions require the deep in order to process. However, the processing in some ways is just out of reach for the INFJ, who keeps one NI on it at all times. INFJs need to build trust in NI, as the conclusions, the insights, the thoughts, the wonderings that NI comes up with are hard for others to accept, as they are not backed up by logic as others understand it. The trusting in NI is a process and requires testing out the insights on others to help hone its accuracy. Building trust in it is a process. Life can sometimes take dramatic turns when deep wonderings get answered or a sudden realization occurs. Dramatic reshaping can take place, or you could say the realization is a changing of the INFJ as they surrender to the truth revealed. The INFJ trusts NI more than anything else. NI knows best. INFJs can have a culture door slam, making sudden changes to adjust to the unconscious narrative that is leading them once a piece of it is gifted to the INFJ. Conscious awareness of the narrative is a sign that they are ready for it. INFJs follow a similar direction in life to others when viewed from the outside, but how this direction takes place internally is a very different story. NI turns general life directions and patterns upside down. This pattern leads INFJs away and also represents where the INFJ is when they're with you. The pattern represents the INFJ in social situations, however it is oversimplified. It appears as though others are joined together on a specific level of consciousness, with each logical theme leading to the next. It can sometimes look like a role play to the INFJ. The INFJ takes the presenting narrative and goes off exploring it all and much more. They often predict the end of the conversation long before the conversation has concluded. The INFJ yearns for interaction that matches their own process. This is where INFJ spend most of their time. On the surface it looks like nothing is going on down there, but much is going on. Down below is where the INFJ is when they are with you. However, this also represents where they go when they are not with you. From here, the INFJ observes the sensory world, analysing, wondering, questioning, yearning, grieving and rejoicing. In one sense, this is where the INFJ lives, breathes and creates, and are most comfortable. However, the INFJ likes to visit the sensory world as part of self-regulating. For the most part, even when for casual reasons, the visit ties into a deeper narrative that the INFJ is trying to knit together and understand. You could even say that the INFJ is visiting the sensory world on behalf of NI, which requires the exposure to enable further processing. FE facilitates exploration by warmly engaging and following the social customs in order to gather new, valuable information. In the world, the INFJ is being themselves. However, the unassuming presence can act like a camouflage. This camouflage both looks after the INFJ, but can also feel like it is getting in the way of connection, like an astronaut spacesuit. If you are looking for an INFJ, look for someone who is fitting in from an observational perspective, but is not following the narrative around them, not speaking when you think they should, not saying the predictable lines that support the popular narrative, laughs at odd times, or says things that don't seem to have a logical backing to it, or even says something that shuts everybody up for a moment. INFJs desire deeply to find others that share a similar frequency. When the INFJ is in the world, they can feel like an alien who has taken a host body to observe and study the behaviours of the Earth people, studying them and going away to the safety of the mothership to develop theories about them. Next time you see an alien movie with strange creatures coming to check out Earth, superimpose the INFJ archetype over the alien and you will get a very helpful visual of the INFJ in a world, but we really do come in peace. If you are lucky enough to spot an INFJ in the world, the best way to catch them is to make them feel comfortable and be curious about them. All too often, however, the sensory world takes its toll well before they have a chance to be recognised. For the INFJ, the sea world is rough, unsophisticated when compared with NI ideals. The waves of people's unconsciousness can begin to get too loud, overwhelming and disorientating. INFJs trust their own frequency, and so tired and yet fulfilled, the INFJ then returns to the depth alone to continue the processing, TI. They can spend a long time down there. It is this process that INFJs develop complex theories and observations of the world. Sometimes the ideal can only exist in the INFJ's head, so INFJs spend time there, helping to generate theories of the world that may help bring the ideal to the world.